Which chipset is the most powerful among the flagship phones? The Tensor G5 on the Pixel 10 Pro XL, the A19 Pro on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 Galaxy Edition on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 on the Vivo X300 Pro, the Exynos 2600 on the Galaxy S26 Plus, or the normal Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 on the OnePlus 15. The first task I gave to the phones was to export a 4K video in CapCut on all phones. Just one thing I want to emphasize during the whole test is that the phones have different internals, and it is not only the chipset that determines the performance, but it has a huge impact. The MediaTek Dimensity finished the task first in 1 minute and 34 seconds. Only a few seconds later, the iPhone with A19 Pro finished in 1 minute and 40 seconds. The OnePlus with a Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 finished in 1 minute and 46 seconds, only 1 second sooner than the Galaxy with the Snapdragon Galaxy Edition. The Exynos 2600 was slower and finished in 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and the Pixel with Tensor G5, despite making their chipset in the TSMC foundry, finished last in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. You can see in this chart that the 4 top chipsets are very close to each other, with MediaTek being the winner. Then we have Exynos and then Tensor. Maybe it is worth mentioning that except Exynos, which is made in the Samsung foundry, all other chipsets are made in TSMC, which is traditionally more efficient. That said, temperature-wise, all Android devices had a close temperature of 32 to 34 degrees Celsius, while the iPhone screen temperature was the coolest at 28 degrees Celsius. For the next test, I moved to benchmarks and ran Geekbench. Geekbench mainly tests the CPU performance of the chipsets and measures the single-core and multi-core performance. If an app or a task in the operating system can be broken into threads, then having more cores is advantageous. But if it runs only on one single thread, then the single-core score is more important. For single-core, the iPhone A19 Pro got the best score, followed by the Snapdragon Galaxy Edition, the normal Snapdragon, MediaTek, and then followed by Exynos and Pixel. For multi-core, the Galaxy version of Snapdragon got first place, followed by vanilla version of Snapdragon, Exynos, MediaTek, A19 Pro, and finally Pixel was last. Then I ran the Wildlife Extreme test, which basically tests the performance for gaming, especially for 3D heavy games. The score indicates how many frame rates the phone were able to run. The MediaTek Dimensity 9500 won with 7163 frames, followed by the vanilla version of Snapdragon 8 Elite, the Exynos 2600, and then the Galaxy S26 Ultra with the Snapdragon Galaxy Edition came after that, but still before iPhone and Pixel. The reason is most likely the fact that Galaxy Ultra phones typically throttle at lower temperatures and don't let you really push that performance, while other Android phones are more relaxed about it. And I also ran AnTuTu. Just take note that AnTuTu is a benchmark that tests a lot of things that are not necessarily related to the chipset, but also RAM and memory speed. Also, the AnTuTu scores of Android and iOS are not compatible. Therefore, I'm not putting them in this chart, but if you are interested, you can see the OnePlus got the highest score here, the Vivo X300 Pro and S26 Ultra are close, followed by Exynos, and Pixel is really disappointing. If I want to rank the phones based on which one got the most wins in the first 4 categories, the MediaTek Dimensity 9500 won twice, while the Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 Galaxy Edition and A19 Pro won once. Then I calculated the weighted score by normalizing the scores and giving the same weight to each category. In this case, the Dimensity is still the best with 94 points out of 100, Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 gets 91.7, close to Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 Galaxy Edition with 91 points, A19 Pro is close with 89 points, then Exynos gets 84 points and Tensor gets 51 points. Overall, from my experience, both with lab tests and other tests I've done that are not in front of the camera, the Exynos 2600 often is behind other chipsets performance-wise, and we also see a slightly higher temperatures in graphic tasks, like 1 or 2 degrees higher. Between the other 3 giants here is no real difference, and the Tensor G5 is simply underwhelming. Of course, phones are not only their chipsets. If you want to see a comprehensive comparison of Galaxy S26 Ultra and iPhone 16 Pro Max, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into Tecmo, and I will see you in the next one.